Welcome to the Black Conservative Voice. I'm Ken here, making sure you have a voice on YouTube. And today, guys, we are breaking down the story of Beyonce, Kamala, and the illegal campaign contribution. That's right, y'all. Donald Trump is asking for a major investigation into all of these suspicious payments made to these celebrities during her campaign. You guys might recall Oprah got about $10 million. There were payments to Beyonce, to Cardi B, to numerous celebrities, Bruce Springsteen, Bono. And we thought this support was organic, but it come to find out it was all paid by the Kamala administration, which Trump administration is calling election interference. These celebrities had their way, they paid endorsements would be the reason why Kamala Harris is president. And that is blatantly illegal. It's election interference. And that's what Trump is going to be calling for. Check this out. So we see here Trump says he's going to call for a major investigation into these performances at Harris's events. President Trump is pressing for a major investigation into why some celebrities lined up to support former Vice President Kamala Harris in the 2024 election, questioning whether megastars like Bruce Springsteen, Beyonce, Oprah Winfrey, and Bono were illegally paid for their endorsements under the guise of performance fees. You know, the liberals are really clever at disguising payments and hiding cost. And this is exactly what they do. They do this fuzzy math, this trick accounting, and it makes it seem as though these were just payments for travel or payments for consulting, when in actuality, it was basically buying their social media audience, buying access to that audience with the paid endorsement of the celebrity. And this is what Trump had to say about it recently on Truth. He said, "How much did Kamala Harris pay Bruce Springsteen for his poor performance during her campaign for president? Why did he accept the money if he's such a fan of hers? Isn't that a major illegal campaign contribution? What about Beyonce? And how much went to Oprah and Bono?" He wrote in a post on Truth Social early Monday, nearly 6 months after he beat Harris in the election. And this is what he goes on to say. This is the interesting part. "I'm going to call for a major investigation into this matter. Candidates aren't allowed to pay for endorsements, which is what Kamala did, under the guise of paying for entertainment," the president added. In addition, this was very expensive and desperate effort to artificially build up her sparse crowds. It's not legal. For these unpatriotic entertainers, this was just a corrupt and unlawful way to capitalize on a major broken system. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So he's asking for attention to be paid for this matter. But if you look further into his statement, I think it's very interesting that he says this was used to build up her sparse crowds. You guys remember back in 2020 when she ran and earlier campaigns, she was barely able to even draw a crowd. Even when she teamed up with Biden to be Biden's VP, these people could barely draw a crowd. And this was post COVID. So there shouldn't have been any reason to get a decent crowd out there. So I think they were trying to avoid that appearance this time, avoiding the optics of that, which was terrible, by paying these celebrities. I remember people walking out when they found out Beyonce wasn't going to be performing. So a lot of these people clearly were here for the entertainment. And she didn't even deliver on that in some cases. So I think President Trump is absolutely right for calling in for an investigation. And I think, hey, we could start it with Congress. We can have them come before Congress. And if that leads to criminality, then so be it. And if these celebrities need to lawyer up, well, then that's just what they have to do. I mean, how dare these people have their influence be bought and paid for? It's like Kendrick Lamar said, you can't fake influence. So these people need to understand that lesson. How did they get this far in the political world and not understand that lesson? I think that's why Trump, love him or hate him, has gotten as far as he's gotten because he doesn't fake his influence. He's sincere about it, and you can like it or not like it. Kamala Harris wasn't going to risk that, so she bought up 90% of Hollywood to help her. And I think if something comes of it, then that's what it should be. We got to set an example for the future generations as to how you run a campaign. And if we're going to set this as a benchmark, that one side gets to pay off the whole media wing of the government. If one side owns it, has corrupted it to the point where it just has to pay off influencers and pay for support, and no one's going to challenge that. I think we set up a bad example for the future. So I definitely think, as a black conservative who's concerned about the future for our kids, that we have a good example of how to run an election. And this was a very poor example, and the criminality needs to be sought out if it's there, and people need to pay. So I don't know what that looks like, and then but I'm sure there'll be more to come on this, and I'll make sure I keep you guys posted. So that's all I'm gonna say on this one, guys. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Thanks for checking out the Black Conservative Voice. Again, remember, we're making sure your voice is heard on YouTube, and now is the chance to make your voice heard. So let me hear you in the comments below. Tell me, guys, how you feel about President Trump going after the Kamala campaign for these contributions. Let me know in the comments below, guys, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.